Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, and on the other side, Makachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
His skill set are amazing. I mean, he's champion for a reason, but nobody is invincible. Everybody can lose, everybody can make a mistake.
George St. Pierre just shared his insights on the potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, sharing that Ilia has the potential to win against Islam. However, Merab Dvalishvili expressed strong respect for his friend Ilia Topuria, supporting his decision to move up in weight. He believes the UFC should offer Ilia a fight against Islam Makhachev, but if not, either Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier would be great options. Merab stated that Ilia is interested in either a title fight or super fights, and he will support whatever decision Ilia makes. He also praised Ilia as a great guy and champion.
Ilia Topuria, would you prefer him stay at featherweight, or would you like to see him go up?
Ilia, he's my good friend, and I have so much respect for him. And he said he wants to go up, and I respect and I support his decision. And now it's up to UFC. They either give him Islam. I think they should give Islam. But if not Islam, either it's Oliveira or Dustin Poirier. So Ilia either wants to fight champion or super fights. That's up to him. And yeah, I will just support him. Wherever he go, whatever he will do. And he's such a great guy and such a great champ.
Moreover, Dana White addressed rumors surrounding the main event for International Fight Week, confirming that while the fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis is set to happen, it won't take place during that week. He also commented on the speculation surrounding a potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, stating that while the fight is in the works, nothing has been officially confirmed yet. He added that they would see how things unfold regarding the Ilia versus Islam fight.
We are still waiting for a main event for International Fight Week, and I'm sure you were willing and ready to break that for us now. Who is main eventing that?
Well, I just announced some fights yesterday, and that wasn't one of them.
Yeah, there's a couple you didn't announce that people were kind of hyped for. There's some rumors. There was rumors that it was going to be Khamzat DDP. Turns out that doesn't look like it's true. There's now rumors it's going to be Ilia Topuria versus Islam. Is that a
Well, we all know that fight's happening. The du Plessis versus Khamzat fight. It's happening. It's just not happening in International Fight Week. That fight's done. Just not happening now.
And Ilia Islam?
What's that?
Ilia versus Islam?
We'll see. See how it plays out.
However, Michael Bisping noted that it's apparent Ilia Topuria's training camp has begun, with his name buzzing on social media. He referenced journalist Alvaro Colmenero, who reported that Topuria will fight during International Fight Week, and the bout will be for a title. Bisping speculated that the opponent could be Islam Makhachev, but emphasized that the fight wouldn't be for the BMF title, as that title is currently held by Max Holloway.
We know one thing, camp has begun. All you gotta do is Google the name Ilia Topuria. It's all over the internet, it's all over Twitter, it's everywhere. Camp has begun, and according to a respected journalist, Alvaro Colmenero, Ilia Topuria will be fighting at International Fight Week for a title, I am told, okay? For a title, who's that gonna be against? Islam Makhachev, of course, okay? Is he gonna be for the BMF? No, because that's Max Holloway.
George St. Pierre commented on the fight, highlighting the strengths of both fighters. He noted that whenever Islam Makhachev touches his opponents, they tend to fall, showcasing his dominance. On the other hand, he pointed out that Makhachev applies immense pressure and is an elite grappler. St. Pierre mentioned that both fighters excel in all areas, making it a highly exciting match for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
In another interview, George St. Pierre stated that the skill sets of the fighters are incredible, and that's why Islam Makhachev is a champion. However, he emphasized that no one is invincible. He reminded everyone that anyone can lose, and everyone is capable of making a mistake, no matter how skilled they are.
Skill set are amazing. I mean, he's champion for a reason, but nobody is invincible. Everybody can lose, everybody can make a mistake.
Moreover, Belal Muhammad talked about the constant criticism directed at Khabib's team, noting how people seem to cheer for their defeats. He pointed out how after Islam Makhachev's win over Alexander Volkanovski, the then pound-for-pound #1, people still found faults with Islam's performance, complaining that he didn't finish Volkanovski despite the match being a close one. Later, when Islam did finish Volkanovski, critics undermined the victory by claiming Volkanovski was too small, being a 145-pound fighter. Belal argued that even if Islam dominates Ilia Topuria, who is likely smaller than Volkanovski, the same people would still find a way to diminish the win, possibly saying Topuria could always return to 145 pounds.
The people never want to give Team Khabib their respect, right? They want to see them lose so bad. They just want to, shun them and, put hate on them no matter what it is. Where like when he beats Volkanovski, who was the pound for pound best fighter in the world at that time, in a close fight, it was like, oh, he sucks, blah, blah, he didn't finish him. He should have finished him. He's a 45er. Then he goes out there, finishes him, and it's like, well, Volkanovski was a 45er. So now Topuria, I think he's a little bit smaller than Volkanovski, he's going to move up. And then if Islam dominates him, oh, well, he's a 45er. He could go back down. So there's really nothing to gain for Islam from fighting him.
Belal further explained that Islam Makhachev's call for Ilia Topuria to prove himself before earning a title shot wasn't about avoiding a fight, but rather giving Topuria the chance to show he belongs. He pointed out that Islam has consistently faced criticism, no matter his accomplishments. Belal believes Topuria should first face a top-tier fighter like Charles Oliveira to earn his title shot, as Islam already proved himself by defeating the best in the lightweight division. He noted that when Volkanovski moved up, he had already cleared out his own division, whereas Topuria still has some contenders left at 145 pounds.
So when he says, oh, let him fight somebody else, earn it, like, he's not saying I won't fight him. He's saying, bro, let him earn it. Like, we already had to deal with this already. People are already shutting my resume. They're hating on me no matter what. So let him go out there, beat like a Charles Oliveira. Why would it have to be for a title? You vacated your title. You wanted to move up on your own. You didn't want to cut the weight. And it's not like you beat 10, you defended the belt like 10 times at 45 or at 5 times, right? When Volkanovski did it, he already beat everybody there. And, he was earned his shot to move up. Topuria, he still had Diego Lopez at the time. He still had Yair down there. Ivalov, who's undefeated, right? There's still a lot of guys for him at 45 to fight. He's just choosing to move up on his own. So that's why I think he should fight at least one more fight at 55 to earn a title shot. It shouldn't be no interim title shot. It shouldn't be nothing, because this time's defending every year.
MMA Guru commented that Ilia Topuria would need to act quickly in a fight with Islam Makhachev, having a round or two to try and finish Makhachev before the fight goes deep. He acknowledged Makhachev's grappling skills, which often lead to quick finishes, but still sees a chance for Topuria to upset the odds. MMA Guru said it would be thrilling to see Topuria land a clean shot and knock Makhachev out, calling it a scenario that would be quite entertaining.
He's got a round or two to put away Makhachev. Makhachev's good at putting away people in a round or two with his grapplings. I think he's up against the odds, but he can definitely pull it off.
And would you just love to see Ilia clip Islam on the chin and just sleep him?
It'd be funny. I want it to win.
Belal Muhammad stressed that Islam Makhachev shouldn't be expected to fight someone moving up from 145 pounds without first earning the chance. He highlighted that Islam has defended his title and faced significant challenges, including getting dropped by Jai Herbert and taken down by Bryce Mitchell. Belal pointed out that Islam's grappling and head kick make him a dangerous opponent, and he should focus on defending against other top contenders in the 155-pound division, such as Justin Gaethje, who has earned a title shot, or other rising fighters like Paddy Pimblett and Arman Tsarukyan.
He went up there already. He got dropped by Jai Herbert. We've seen him get taken down by Bryce Mitchell. Like, if Islam gets on top of you, takes you down, you're not getting back up. If Islam hits you with that head kick, you're not getting back up. So for them, it's like, what am I going to gain from it? What is there to gain for Islam besides just the money, right? It's just like, all right, well, I haven't fought Justin Gaethje yet. No matter who Justin fights, he deserves a title shot, right? Like, he could get one win and fight for a title. Paddy Pimblett's on a long streak right now. There's guys at 55 that he can fight. Arman's still there, right? There's other opponents for him to fight. So, like, he's not desperate to have to fight a 45.
Michael Chandler pointed out the size difference between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, mentioning that Islam is the larger fighter in the lightweight division. While Chandler acknowledged Islam's exceptional grappling, he gave Ilia the advantage in striking. He emphasized that if Ilia can avoid being taken down, he might have a shot, but ultimately, Islam's strength, experience, and well-rounded skills would likely give him the upper hand in the fight.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong. He's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far, and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
But on the other hand, Chael Sonnen challenged the belief that Islam Makhachev has a significant size advantage over Ilia Topuria, arguing that a 10-pound difference between weight classes is minimal. He dismissed the idea that Ilia has no chance as an overstatement, pointing out that top wrestlers often find their toughest challenges come from the best fighters in the weight class below them.
Do guys that size not know? I mean, there is a different size of guy. Like, there's little guys that don't know they're little guys, and then that's really offensive. That's like really offensive if you call them. I'm not attempting to be offensive. Do 45 pounders and 55 pounders not know? You weigh the same thing. You weigh the exact same thing. If you get on a scale and it says 145, and another dude gets on the scale and it says 155, that scale says the exact same thing. Are you not aware of that? Do guys that size not know that? There is no size difference between Ilia and Islam. It's a 145 versus a 155.
Furthermore, Beneil Dariush expressed that while Ilia Topuria might be the most deserving newcomer in the lightweight division, he doubts that Islam Makhachev and his team would be eager to grant another title shot to someone moving up from featherweight. Dariush pointed out that after already facing 2 opponents from 145 pounds, Makhachev's camp likely feels that chapter is closed and would now prefer fresh matchups within the 155-pound division. He acknowledged that while Topuria poses a unique challenge, his background in the featherweight division makes the potential fight a tough sell for Islam's team.
If Ilia is coming into the division, I honestly think he's the most deserving, but I don't think Makhachev and his team right now want to give a shot to another 45er. I think they feel like they did it twice. That's enough, you know. Now they want contenders, and at the same time, but Makhachev also wants to fight new guys, so it's kind of one of those things where you're stuck because you have a new opponent, but he's a former 45er, and you're like, I don't want to fight another 45er. So it's a weird.
Jorge Masvidal voiced strong confidence in Ilia Topuria's grappling, saying he'd be willing to bet everything on him. He praised Topuria's aggressive and effective ground game, especially his takedown defense. Masvidal explained that if an opponent tries to wrestle Ilia and slips up, Topuria has the ability to quickly flip the position, gain control, and put his rival in serious trouble.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling, offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot it on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put your ass.
Cody Brundage weighed in on the potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, pointing out Topuria's dominant run, especially his knockout wins over elite names like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. Brundage stated that if Ilia manages to beat Islam too, it would elevate him into the conversation as one of the greatest fighters ever, possibly even placing him in the top 3 all time.
It's a crazy fight. You know, we talked about that. You know, Yusuf obviously at 145, he's on a tear. He's making his come up, and he wants that Ilia fight so bad. They already fought once, but we were talking about if Ilia goes in and knocks out Islam Makhachev, like how high do we put him on the GOAT list, right? Like to me, I'm like, John Jones is #1 no matter what. I don't think anybody could surpass John Jones. for a long time. Obviously, it would take a ton, but everyone in my circle at least is like, man, if he goes and knocks out Islam after knocking out Holloway, after knocking out Volk, he's got to be up there like top 3.
Brundage also brought attention to Ilia's often overlooked grappling skills, noting that he's a high-level wrestler and a black belt in jiu-jitsu with solid submission ability. Still, he leaned toward Islam as the likely winner due to the noticeable size difference, which he sees as a key element in an otherwise evenly matched contest. He added that the bout would be both exciting and fiercely competitive.
And he could do it. I think people, like, he's been knocking all these people out. People really sleep on Ilia's grappling. He's a super high level black belt with really good submissions, really good wrestling. And so I think people are worried, like saying, like, oh, he'll get out wrestled, but he has great wrestling. So, man, I don't know. I would have to go with Islam because he's bigger. And I think weight maybe plays a factor when you have 2 really highly skilled guys. But that would be an absolute banger of a fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov weighed in on the potential matchup, stating that Ilia Topuria hasn't yet earned a shot at the title. He pointed out that Islam Makhachev is approaching his mid-30s and probably has only a few big fights left, so it's crucial that he faces well-established contenders with proven track records. From Khabib's perspective, Topuria hasn't faced any major names and still needs to build his resume before challenging the current champion.
И он дрался, и он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Он сам на то, да, в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался. Команда, мы считаем, что Topuria, он достойный боец. Но он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, которого он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал. Из-за этого нам нужно, чтобы Исламу тоже немного осталось. Если так посмотреть, Исламу скоро 34 будет. Но Ислам тоже хочет драться не с Topuria и с Волкановски, или который вышел на замену с Майкану. Ислам хочет драться с большими именами, которые заслуживают, которые давно уже в 70 килограмм. Ты переходишь вес, заслужи, и у нас примерно вот такая позиция.
Bonakal considers Islam Makhachev the top pound-for-pound fighter right now, but sees Ilia Topuria as a legitimate threat. He referenced Volkanovski's strong wrestling performance in his first bout with Islam, suggesting that Topuria might also have the tools to match up well against Makhachev grappling and all-around skill set.
I think he's the pound-for-pound number 1 right now, and I think he can win. Happen. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam. I'm like, man, Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's. And obviously, you could see how the striking went.
Aaron Pico shared his enthusiasm for the potential fight, calling it a compelling matchup that would draw interest from both fans and the sport as a whole. He acknowledged that each fighter has a distinct style, and Ilia Topuria has clearly made his mark with his own approach. Still, Pico feels that Islam Makhachev's combination of experience and well-rounded skills would likely be too much for Topuria to overcome.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would have loved to see that.
Alexander Volkanovski gave his take on a possible fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, saying that while Islam would be a major test for Topuria, Ilia does have the tools to land something big. He highlighted Topuria's sharp boxing and praised his precision and patience in striking, noting that Ilia stays composed even when things aren't going his way, always waiting for the right moment. Still, Volkanovski added that Islam would likely approach the fight cautiously, fully aware of the danger in Topuria's power and timing.
Yeah, so it's look, it just comes to can Ilia catch him? You know, that's what is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach. He really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens. You know what I mean? He is on task, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him, because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia, because he knows Ilia is going to have that puncher's chance.
Joe Rogan voiced strong support for Ilia Topuria getting a shot at the lightweight belt, saying it's obvious he's earned it. He argued that when a reigning champ moves up and knocks out elite opponents like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski, the next step is clear. Rogan called the title opportunity a no-brainer, stressing that Topuria has done everything required and is fully prepared to compete at 155 pounds, having moved past the featherweight division.
Because you have a world champion versus a world champion. Like, if anybody deserves a fight for the world title in the next weight class, it's you. It's simple. It's simple. You knocked out Max Holloway. I mean, it's simple. You knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, one of the greatest of all time. It's simple. That's a no-brainer. That's the fight. You know, he doesn't want to fight 45 anymore. He wants to fight 55. World title shot.
Mike Perry expressed excitement about the potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it a thrilling matchup. He pointed out how impressive Ilia has been and noted the strong, passionate fan bases behind both fighters, Spain supporting Ilia and Russia backing Islam. Perry believes it would be an incredible clash, fueled by the energy of these dedicated fan groups.
Ilia versus Islam is a really cool fight. Ilia's been great. The people of Spain and versus the people of Russia, we know there's two really big support systems there. That's a great fight.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.